The Houston Rockets and the Dallas Mavericks recently agreed to a trade that sent Christian Wood to Dallas, with the Rockets receiving Boban Marjanovic, Marquise Chris, Trey Burke, and Sterling Brown, with Dallas also including the number 26 pick in the 2022 NBA Draft. The question is, which team won this trade? To answer this, we have to look at the circumstances that would drive each team to make this trade. Let's start with the Mavs. The Mavs under Luka and Rick Carlisle are known for being one of the most prolific offenses in NBA history. But this year, the team has not lived up to that standard. The Mavs has been able to make leaps on the defensive end of the court under new head coach Jason Kidd, but their offense took a big hit this year, with them only scoring 108 points per game in the regular season, which places them at 24th behind teams like the Wizards and, ironically enough, the Rockets. This is the lowest points per game for the Mavs in the Luka era. This inability to generate consistent offense was even more pronounced in the Western Conference Finals against the swarming defense of the Golden State Warriors. In that series, the Mavericks got almost no production from their front court. Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell, in a combined 35 minutes per game, provided 7 points, 6.8 rebounds on 49% shooting from the field and 13% from three. In a series where the rest of the starters were averaging 41% from three combined, your front court giving you nothing is a reason for concern. By trading for Christian Wood, the Mavs are inserting one of the most unique offensive talents in the NBA. At 6'9", the 26-year-old Wood is a walking double-double, averaging 18 and 10 on the season while shooting 39% from three and 40% on catch-and-shoot threes. On paper, this is an enticing combination. Also, when you consider his ability to finish at the rim as a lob threat on pick and rolls, you see why this makes sense for Dallas. Wood on pick and rolls with the Rockets' young guards generated 1.20 points per possession, putting him in the top one-third of bigs in the NBA on these plays. Also consider who he will be paired with. Luka is one of the most skilled pick-and-roll ball handlers in the league, and is coming off his lowest pick-and-roll points per possession season of his career. Luka's playmaking ability and style is compared heavily to James Harden's. When Wood and Harden played together in Houston for 6 games, before Harden was traded to Brooklyn, Wood averaged 23 and 8. As it relates to his defense, Wood has all the tools to be a plus defender in today's NBA. He has the wingspan and foot speed to guard the perimeter and contest at the rim at a high level. All of his defensive metrics show that he has the ability to be a serviceable defender. Where his issues lie aren't with ability, it's with effort. In Houston, Wood has put together a highlight reel of low IQ plays on both sides of the ball, but on defense it is somewhat indefensible. Failing to close out, failing to rotate, letting smaller players, including guards like Jalen Brunson, attack him off the dribble and drop him off at the rim like a kid at soccer practice. And for the Rockets fans, the infamous flat-footed jumper by Jonas Valanciunas. To the general NBA public who do not watch every Rockets game, you may not see these plays, but Rocket fans do. And there's a reason why the Rockets would be willing to part with Wood for what seems like scraps. For the Rockets side of the story, as mentioned earlier, Wood was not providing the effort and leadership to this young team you expect from an NBA veteran. This came to a head when he and guard Kevin Porter Jr. were suspended for a game. The story is well documented, but after missing a COVID test prior to a game against the Denver Nuggets, Wood was benched by the coaching staff. Instead of simply owning up to his error, Wood pouted and disengaged himself from the game that night, and after being called by the head coach, Stephen Silas, to enter the game, Wood refused to do so. This was the last straw in the eyes of a lot of Rockets fans for Wood's lack of accountability and leadership. On a practical note, the basketball reasons for trading Wood were always apparent. The Rockets are currently in a rebuild, drafting 4 rookies in 2021 and possibly 3 more in this current draft. With players like Alperen Sengun and Usman Garuba to develop, having Wood on the team creates a logjam in the front court positions. Additionally, With the Rockets picking in the top 3 of this year's draft, they are more than likely to select another front court player who will need to play and need to develop. To me, the nail in the coffin for Wood's future in Houston was how their young backcourt looked in his absence. Without him on the court, in the last 7 games of the season, Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green were both top 10 in the league for guards in scoring, with Jalen averaging 29.3 points per game on 47% from the field and 40 from 3, and KPJ averaging 28.7 points per game on 48% shooting from the field and 40% from 3. These performances didn't translate to wins, but for a young rebuilding team, seeing this level of play from young players in the absence of veterans can change the conversation moving forward. By all accounts, the Rockets are slated to receive Duke forward Paolo Banchero, a 6'10 playmaking hybrid who may very well be the best overall player in this year's draft. They also have the Nets' 17th pick, which they can use to address a need at the forward or center position. The addition of the 26th pick from Dallas provides them additional flexibility to move up to target an impact player in the lottery if they like. This also opens up more combinations of trade possibilities with players currently on the roster. The fact they took on expiring contracts allowed them to keep their cap space for next summer's free agency class in case a great player becomes available. I would have liked them to have moved Wood earlier, but Wood didn't help the situation by tanking his own value. There are so many other factors for the Rockets that make this trade worth it, but it all can be summarized by the phrase making lemonade out of lemons. There are still moves that need to be made by the Rockets that help reshape the current narrative of a bad team culture, but getting off of Christian Wood was a step in the right direction. Who won the trade then? Well, the Mavs injected a prolific scorer into a great defense that can possibly mask his weaknesses. The Rockets created roster and draft flexibility while freeing up minutes for the development of their future pieces. In my opinion, this was a win for both franchises. If you're interested in more content like this, be sure to hit the like button. And also, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the Chop Shop for more quality basketball content.